And we are live, Morgan. Hello.
Well, that was quick. I was waiting for there to be a pause.
Yeah, you know what? You know the new one I made? I don't know what I did with it. I'm so upset, yeah.
There are too many edits. Anyway, welcome, Gooners, around Cape Town. And now we believe there are Gooners from around South Africa and maybe elsewhere joining us. Welcome to Cape Town Armoury, the weekly review show of the Arsenal Cape Town Official Supporters Club. We welcome you there, the fans who are sitting on the stages on Facebook and YouTube. We have a full show tonight. We have a lot of things to talk about. And just to introduce them, we're not going to bring them on just yet, but we'll bring them on just now. But just to tell you that our panelists this evening, well, first of all, let me say hello. Sorry, because we had this long chat, I forget I must say hello to you for the show as well. To your co-host, my name is Morgan, and the other co-host is Naseem Terblanche. Naseem, how's it going?
Good, thanks. And yeah, well, a bit upset and happy. Happy Arsenal won, of course, and a bit upset the Springboks didn't do 12. But other than that, good. But it's also an exciting week for Arsenal because they play twice this week.
They do? I obviously I assume it's League Cup this week.
Yep, Carabao Cup this week.
Is it still called the Carabao Cup though? That competition changes name more often than. I can't think of someone who changes name a lot, but whoever that is.
It does change a lot, whoever that is.
Yeah.
But and welcome to everybody out there. Thanks for joining us. And Fabian, all the way from Paul.
Oh, wow. Welcome, Fabian. Actually, Paul is not that far from me. It's around the corner from where I am. It's far to you guys in the southern suburbs. Yeah. But welcome, Fabian, and Matthew Van Meyer, Warren, and nice to have you on the show. Okay, so just a couple of things we're going to be talking about. It's an unusual show because we've won 2 games in a row, an unexpected show. So we have to figure out a way how to deal with that emotionally and intellectually. And that's what we have this show for. And that's why we're going to be joined by panelists Brandon Stoinov, or Dobbie as we all know him, and Brandon Baker, or Brandy, as we have now dubbed him, will join us to talk about Saturday's win. Was it Saturday's win over Burnley? An unexpected surprise. We're going to talk about what are the ramifications of that win, other than what it means for our league standing, but how we deal with that. What does it mean for us? Is it happy times? Then we are going to a couple of usual things. We're going to talk later about our predictions, which has grown in popularity, and there's a new twist to how we will manage predictions.
Yes.
And then we are also trying to figure out who won Colin O'Brien is, and we will explain that later as to why we are quite intrigued by this person.
Yep, and our quiz is back.
Yes, our quiz is back, and this evening it will have a North London derby focus.
Yep.
So better go study up quickly. Do we have any prizes for that? No, not really.
Not really, no.
Okay.
Bragging rights.
Bragging rights are more important than anything else. So, shall we welcome our panelists on?
Yep, and yes, Brandon first. Hello, Brandon, and hello.
Good evening, guys. Good evening, everybody.
Before I say hello to you guys, I just want to point out that Charles the Brain has asked, why is it unexpected that we won? Yeah, better players. Charles, it's not a question of whether we have better players or who we support or who I support. But come on, we both know there was a little uncertainty. But anyway, it was a pleasant surprise nonetheless. So Brandon, welcome to you. I haven't seen you on the show for a while, and also welcome a first timer, a debutant. In Dobby, I'm going to just say, but I'm going to say hello to Dobby first. Dobby, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm glad you chose to have me after a win as well, so it will make the conversation easier, hopefully.
So
And yeah,
it's usually a difficult conversation after a win because we don't know how to process it. Brandon, how are you doing? How are you doing there against your red wall?
I should have worn the red t-shirt, eh? I'm
Yeah.
well, Morgan, thanks for asking. How are you guys, your side?
We happy. I was looking forward to the show because you know when we win you always look forward to the show more. Well, you look more forward to it than you do
Yes,
when
definitely.
we lose. Anyway, so Dobby, let's talk about it. Okay, so we're just gonna do a little slide. Is there a slide coming up, Naseem? That I should
Yeah,
be.
it's just about
There we
our win.
go. There we go. Just about our win. So Dobby, Charles has now asked me where my allegiances lie and why I consider the victory unexpected. Am I am I the only one who found it a pleasant surprise?
well, I would have to say that I wasn't as surprised, to be honest. I mean, we normally do well with Burnley. I think we haven't lost since forever. Always managed to scrape a win, and also they haven't been in very good form either this season. They usually start slow, so I thought that there was a good chance that we could put up a performance and win. And I wasn't that surprised that we pulled it off. Having said
Did
that,
you
I was quite happy with mostly with the defensive side of things, keeping a clean sheet. All the new guys that came in did well, and defensively, while offensively things didn't quite pan out as well. So, but we were lucky for the quality of Ødegaard to take a free kick like that. I mean, I don't even know, other than Pepe scoring a few free kicks last season, um, who else has ever scored a free kick for us in as far as I can remember. So I was quite happy with that we have another free kick taker in the team. So overall, it's quite a positive outcome for me.
going into the game, did you think that we could get away with an average performance, or that we would have to play a little bit out of our skin? And do you think that the performance was better than the one last week?
Well, for me, against teams like Burnley and the Stoke Cities and the Boltons back in the day, it was always down to matching them physically first of all, so not getting intimidated with their tactics, and then once you do that, then you earn the right to actually play and go on and potentially win the game, and do the basic well. Don't give away silly um, free kicks or big passes like we almost did. I mean, that would have been one way it could have buried us, but luckily we got away with that one, thanks to Ramsdale, who was brilliant. So yeah, I thought that you have to do the basics right. You won't get away with it if you go in with a subpar performance, and I think that we did that. Even though we didn't create that many chances, it wasn't a free-flowing game attack-wise, and we made a lot of mistakes going forward. like the final ball and our passing wasn't really that great. And there was opportunities to create a lot more. We let ourselves down there. In terms of keeping tight defensively and just making sure that we don't give them like a stupid goal or
Okay,
put
no,
us
no
under
stupid.
pressure necessarily. Playing out from the back, we seems to be improving as well. So overall, I thought that we did well. I mean, I'm
Okay.
happy, especially considering how things have been going since the start of the season. I can definitely see an improvement, and the best thing is that it's all the new signings that have come in and actually have improved the team.
We're going to talk about those now, Dobby. We're going to talk about those now. But I just want to ask Brandon quickly. Brandon, do you see this victory? Was it a team performance that won us today, or was it largely a defensive effort? The way I feel it was more defense, but other people may
Yeah,
feel differently.
I actually concur what you're saying. Yeah, definitely defensive. I think our defenders were actually quite resolute. And Tommy actually put in quite a decent shot, but he looked a bit staggered near the end. But obviously, that's understandable. He hasn't been with the team for very long, so obviously he's getting back into the normal training routine and gelling with his fellow teammates. But yeah, but concerned about Tierney. Him and
Not
Party
looking,
seem
not
to, yeah, they always seem to pick up a little bit of a niggle when we play tough opponents, when it's very physically demanding. They seem to rather either pick up a cramp. Okay, look, the gaffer said it's cramps, so I'm not too sure. Look, we're playing Tottenham next, and I definitely think this game, in particular against Burnley, was definitely a more physical battle than anything. We had a few chances, like Dobbie mentioned, in the box, but we're not critical enough. So offensively, there's a major problem. I think Arteta is shuffling the players too much, left flank, right flank. Saka looks out of his element at the moment. I think he got one of the rates. In my opinion, I'll rate him as the lowest later on when you guys do the ratings. But I just think that Partey also, he does help. He basically receives the ball very quickly from the defenders. He alleviates a lot of pressure. Ben White must actually just gain some more confidence. That back pass was ridiculous. I know the turf was dry. They're using it as an excuse. But our keeper, once again, look, there's only 2 matches in, but from what I've seen thus far, I'm not going to jump the gun. But there is a lot of positives I can take because he's different to Leno when it comes to commanding the box. He actually comes up and he can actually catch a ball. So he alleviates that pressure from corners. We're not so vulnerable when the opposition is taking corners from the left and the right. He basically tells the guys where to stand, and he's actually quite vocal. And Gabriel also, he's been a monster for the past few games. I think we actually missed him for a few games last season when he was injured. So hopefully he can encourage Ben White to be a bit more physical and help him along because he looks a bit frotty. So yeah, but worried about him. But defensively, we were a bit strong in this match. Offensively, we were poor, and I think we actually got our defense and our goalie to thank for the win, Morgan. That's my opinion.
Dobby, offensively, we did get 13 shots at goal, which is I don't know, that seems, it always sounds like an Arsenal record when we get more than 5 shots on goal. It feels like it. That is totally anecdotal. That's not scientific evidence, people. But it feels like we don't often get shots on goal. Only 3 of the 13 were on target, so about just under 25%. Dobby, what do you think is going on there? Why are we not creating? Why are we not scoring more goals? Why are we not creating more goals? What do you think is the issue up there?
Well, I don't think that we transition fast enough. For example, like in this game, we got a relatively early goal, so we should have been able to soak up the pressure and then hit them on the counter attack. And it just doesn't seem to be really happening. We're not really releasing people, creating chances for them on the break. We have Aubameyang there, hardly got any service the whole game, and Pepe always seems isolated on the wing. So there's definitely a issue with the early transition, and then when we try to build up the play, it just seems so predictable. Most of the guys are just getting the ball into feet, so it's playing these little triangles around, but there's no conviction that, like 1-2 quick passes maybe down the wing to release a player into space and create chances. It's more like this labored sort of passing. Also, the passing is quite. It's never. It's either overhit or it's the passes are never like with the right weight.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
So
And
that,
talking about
that immediately kills your momentum.
talking about the attack, I'm not sure if Warren is kidding, whether he's saying when he says that Arteta should have played Pepe, and I'm pretty sure Pepe did start. And then,
Yeah. Okay.
and
But
did Pepe
anonymous.
was he missing in action on the field? Is that why Warren didn't notice him? What was Pepe's story on Saturday?
Well, again, he always seems to be isolated against 2 or 3 defenders on the wing, and it's difficult for him to make an impact when he has to always try and beat 2 or 3 players every time. So I'm not sure how you can address that really. I mean, you could swap them around. I remember last season they tried with Saka playing on the right and Pepe on the left, and that seemed to mix things up a little bit for him. And also the other thing is, I think the fullbacks were playing a bit deeper in this game. Being away from home to Burnley, obviously we wanted to be more solid defensively, which then didn't create too many overlaps, especially for Tomiyasu, compared to the previous game where he was bombing down the wing when we were playing at home.
Yeah.
So that also probably contributed to it as well.
But not a lot happening. Not a lot of creativity. Apparently, do we have the right squad, guys? Brandon, you can also chip in here. Do we have the right attackers? When I look at Aubameyang, for me, if you give to Aubameyang the ball in the right places, I'm always confident he's going to score. But he's not getting the ball. There doesn't seem to be a lot of creativity once we're in that vicinity. Is it time for a change of personnel?
I think if I was the coach at this present moment, I would basically sub over and maybe play Laka as a central striker, because when I looked at the little interactions around the 18-yard area and the 6-yard particularly, we normally do the triangle passes and interaction, but the layoffs, like Dobbie mentioned, is either erratic or it's overheat or it's underheat. It's just like these guys are not from the same team. It's like they haven't ever played together. And I mean, some of these guys have been playing for a couple of seasons together, so you should know already. Your instincts should kick in and say, hey, listen, he's going to be there already. And it just hasn't been happening in the final third, and hence us losing the ball. Sometimes the teams are catching us on the counter because we push up so high. And I think now with the back four system, I think we were a bit more conservative with our defensive structure, so we haven't been bombing down the lines. When we normally play with the central back three, and we got the wing backs pushing down the flanks. And we can't always rely on Tierney to put in crosses, because I mean we don't really have aerial strength. I mean our strikers are not gifted in that sense. We know how many crosses we put in last season. I mean the idea was bomb the ball forward, put in a cross, bomb the ball forward. So they are playing a bit through the middle now that Ødegaard is really integrated into the team. I mean, he put some nice passes together, but like I say, the final third in it flopped somewhere. Saka was also guilty of that, trying to lay off balls, trying little tricks. The only thing Saka did well, in my opinion, was draw that free kick so that Ødegaard could score that goal. But furthermore, Saka looks like he needs a break because there's nothing happening offensively. I don't know if Saka must play on the left or the right. Some people say left, some say right, and then Pepe must be switched. I don't know.
Yeah, Charles says Saka, he has a place for for Saka seems to be on the bench a bit.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, he
we'll
needs
see
a
how
rest,
that
in
goes.
my opinion. I'll be honest. I just think he was very poor. Look, he's still a young kid, and we don't want to write him off and put and badmouth him. But I
Yeah.
mean, the facts is the facts. I mean, if you need a rest and you've been poor for 2-3 games, the coach has to realize he can't keep playing you. There is other talent on the bench
Yeah.
as well. So you're starving those guys of an opportunity
Yeah.
where they might just have saved us in the 1 or 2 games.
Okay. Now, this being Gooner's, the very next comment says no, he doesn't need a rest. So as long as we are on the same page. So I want to talk a little bit about our new signings. Focus a little bit on them tonight. So Ødegaard is probably the most familiar face, but overall, again, we're leaving the offense where it's untouched basically, and now we again shift our focus to the defense because that's where most of the new signings seem to have been. Your thoughts? Any promising signings there, Dobbie? Who would you consider the most promising, and who would you consider to be? We're still gonna have to give them time to settle in and see if they work out.
Yeah. Well, the first promising thing for me, and it's I'm kind of like a glass half full kind of guy, so I always look positive on the things if I can. And the first positive sign for me is that we actually are doing something to address the issues in defense, which we didn't do for decades before. And a lot of people were shouting about midfielders and all sorts of other things, but our priority was obviously in defense. Firstly, starting with the goalkeeper. Now, Leno hasn't been terrible the past 2 seasons. However, it doesn't seem to fit into the system that Arteta wants to play. He can't play out from the back. Poor communication. So having Ramsdale in there seems to have almost made an immediate difference. Seems to be doing all these things much better than Leno. Distribution, claiming crosses, communicating, giving a bit more energy to the back line. So that's a big plus for me.
Toby, I apologize for cutting you off. I'm gonna alternate between you and Brandon.
Yeah,
I'm gonna give you each a player. So you had Ramsdale and you look promising. Brandon, you can choose any player from the lot. And I can imagine you're gonna go with Tomiyasu.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna take him. I'll tell you why, Morgan. Just think about it. He basically, like no preseason, he's thrown into the deep end of the team. And I mean, this guy has just come out, he's been thrown in. And look, it's still early to judge him fully, but I mean, from what I've seen, he's actually been decent and solid.
Okay. Something happened with the sound suddenly.
There we
go.
Noticed that. Yeah.
Oh no! I think Naseem has a lot of. I think he works in the submarine. He's in the engine room in the submarine.
Oh no! I muted my mic because my son came into my room.
Okay.
And he always first needs to talk to me before he goes to bed. So the sound you hear is my PC. So.
Crikey, what does that PC run? The core of the earth. It's okay. Toby, who do you want to go to? Which one of those players? Should I give you Ben White?
Yeah, well, obviously that's the big one because we spend the most amount of money on him. And the expectation is the highest, therefore. And so far he has been underwhelming. But it seems like one of those where you need a few more games to get into it, the style of play and so on. He hasn't been terrible or anything.
Do you see any potential there that this could be the guy? Because we've been alternating that central defender so often. Do you think that is there anything there that you've seen that tells you this could be the guy for the future? And we shouldn't put too much. We shouldn't put too much sort of consideration into the 50 mil. I think that's just there are so few English players in the league that anyone just costs extra.
Sure. Yeah, no, I mean, it's not about the price tag. It's about how he performs. And I think that he can be as long as we have Gabriel D. So if those two can stay fit for the important games in the Premier League, I think we'll be all right. They can form a partnership. Outside of them, once you start throwing in people like Holding and Murray in, then you might have an issue. But I mean, it's very difficult to get 4 top quality centre backs. So as long as our first starting the top 2 are at a decent standard, then I'll be happy with that. And I think that there is potential that will be the case. Oh, I hope so, anyways.
We all just hoping. We all got our fingers crossed. Brandon, I'm going to throw Tavares at you.
I think he's a solid. I think he's a solid backup, or even a starter in most games in a left back role. He's actually a bit more aggressive than Tierney in certain instances, and hopefully he's not as injury prone. I actually wanted to just mention something. Okay, I just want to go back to something that Toby mentioned about White. It's ironic that Brighton sold White to us, and now they're fourth on the log.
Yeah.
I'm a bit concerned about that. That is absolute. I mean, and then on the reverse side of that, Morgan, you've got Ramsdale, who's always been playing for relegation-threatened teams or relegated teams, and they said we're going to get relegated because he's going to be in the sticks, and the guy's got 2 clean sheets so far. So there's a lot of irony in this situation with some of the players we signed. I think at the moment, Nuno is a good definite a backup. He can even play in maybe the cup games and whatever the case may be. And look, he might even start because Tierney is so injury prone. I think that at the moment, based on the signings we did now, Ben White is at the moment he really needs to jack up. He's actually the weakest link at the moment.
Okay.
He's definitely got a confidence issue there.
I don't want you to drift into Ben White just yet. Not for now.
Not for now.
No, not for now. You had your name assigned to you. Dobbie Lokonga. Someone that I particularly like. So I want you to be careful with what you say. I'm particularly, I particularly like him. So just before you go there, because I have the power to mute mics. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to worry about that with me. I mean, I actually love the guy. He's come in and actually kind of thrown into the deep end a little bit with our midfield issues and the start that we had. And despite the difficult start and some overall bad performances from the team, he has been one of the few bright lights, I would have to say, in those first 3 games. Now things are looking better already with more players coming back. But he's really, for me, he's hit the ground running and
Okay, Dobbie, we're just losing you there a bit.
Also, the fact
sorry,
that he was
Dobbie, we're just losing you a bit.
Is my connection bad?
It's just fading.
Okay.
It was solid throughout, and just for a few seconds there, it looks good again.
Oh,
it
okay,
seems good
then
again.
I can see yours is also cutting out a little.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, the visuals are just slowing down. Naseem, can we just look at some of the comments that we've had in the chat about the players? So Warren, who says that he thinks Ben White will get better. Charles says Lokonga, great signing. After Warren said that Ben White will get better, Alistair says Ben White is scared of the Arsenal jersey. Like I said, Arsenal fans always in agreement. And then Charles also points out that White has only played 2 games so far. I think that's his way of saying we need to give the boy some time. And then I just want to throw this into the mix. I want to ask people's thoughts, the panel's thought on Ainsley Maitland-Niles in the midfield. Again, I quite enjoy seeing him in the midfield. He looks for me to be a better player there, more enthused about playing. What's your perceptions? I'm going to treat him as a new signing because he was away for a bit and he's playing in a new position.
Yeah.
So I have that.
I actually think he did quite well in that second half coming on. He was very solid. He done what he needed to do. And I've always liked the lad. I think even at right back, he was quite decent as well. He was also able to put in a lot of crosses when he was playing in the right back position. When he was sometimes as a wing back, he used to bomb down the line. He could at least cross the ball. So sometimes he has some bad touches here and there, but I mean, it happens to all players. So I actually glad I kept him because I mean, like Dobbie said earlier, we definitely had some midfield issues, and luckily now for us, we're not playing in Europe because some of the guys managed to come back, and we got some reinforcements because I mean Europe and the league now and we have a third in midfield. I think we really would have struggled.
Okay. Dobbie, your thoughts on Maitland-Niles in this new position of his?
Well, in the previous game against Norwich, it was a home game. I thought he did okay, but as soon as he got taken off and Partey came in, the entire complexion changed. So it was a big improvement from when he was playing there. So that wasn't very convincing for me. Then in the last game when he came in, he actually did better for me personally. He got stuck in. So I would say there's potential there, but he still needs to polish up his game quite a bit to play in midfield. It's a totally different ball game to him playing on the wing and where he can be a little bit more loose. I suppose with the ball in midfield, his passing needs to be tighter, and overall, he has the energy to play there, definitely, and the physicality, the athleticism, and all that. But in terms of in midfield, you have to be playing with your head, so that's basically where it's gonna be make or break for him. So it remains to be seen.
Yeah, no. I particularly enjoy that he's showing a lot more creativity in the midfield than he was allowed before. So I am betting on him to become hopefully a star. I'm saying it today. You've heard me say it here. Ainsley Maitland-Niles is going to be our midfield kingpin in the mold of a Santi. But just a quick couple of comments here again from Gooner in the chat. Charles Alistair says Maitland-Niles is a good replacement for Alnedi. Charles says good game as a sub. Kinsley, I'm not sure what to make of your comment. If we can keep Xhaka, we can keep Niles. And I think that's basically, if you have COVID, you might as well take a vaccine, that kind of thing. Okay. So, yeah. And then there's a couple of questions. So, Naseem, do you want to lead this part of the debate?
Yeah, so we had a chat about this, and I said we'll keep it for the live show. So in all honesty, I don't know where Brandon and Dobbie stands, but I mean, after the last two performances, do we start trusting the process? Are we giving Arteta a bit more time? Because 2 weeks ago, before the Norwich game, it was Arteta out, and he's got 2 wins on the trot. Let's say in hindsight, we win at Spurs come the weekend. Do we then fully back the guy, or are there still the whole Arteta out clan making a noise out there? Because I haven't heard anything since the last 2 games. So,
well, I just want to say
Dobbie.
This is a trauma trigger. We need a trigger warning whenever we're going to talk about Arteta, I think.
Yeah, it's like one of those out, isn't it? Well, for me personally, the fan base is usually reactive. So obviously, after a couple of losses, the noise increases and the pressure starts building up, and after a couple of wins, it decreases and so on. but you have to take a long-term approach with the manager because we're not in a position of Chelsea, for example, who can chop and change managers and then buy the world-class players that they like and be successful in that way. So we have to build over a longer period of time, and it's ideally you want to do it with one manager that can be there for a few years and mold the team in his own vision. And then I suppose then the question becomes, is Arteta that guy, or are you going to look for somebody else? I can't answer that question because only time.
You have to go look into your crystal ball and see if you can find him still there in 2023.
Yeah, Brandon, your thoughts on Arteta and trusting the process?
Yeah, look, like you mentioned earlier, we were all, I don't know, but the general consensus was Arteta out at the beginning of the season after the first 2 games. And yeah, look, we did have some tough fixtures in the beginning to start off with, but he also did mention in his press conference that he had about 8 or 9 first-team players out, and the new signings are in now. They're playing. We've won 2 games on the trot. He's definitely gonna need a lot more time. I'm gonna back the process for now. I have to get behind the team. I support Arsenal, so it doesn't matter who the manager is. I'm gonna have to unfortunately get behind the team. There's no use. We criticize. We get a new manager and we're back to square one. He still needs to learn the players, new process. But I'm definitely behind him for now.
So I don't know if you'd agree with me. So like looking at Saturday's game, it seemed like we had a game plan. It seemed like you could see what we were trying to do. Unlike previous week, even the Norwich game, you couldn't really see what we're trying to do. And this game, it was just a bit different, right?
It was more. Yeah, it was a bit more structured. Yeah, in the previous games, it was like just go out there, field 11, and I don't know, hope for the best. So I think Ødegaard also was pulling the strings, and he actually was. What I like about him is, although he's young, he actually shows the players where to move. If you watch his body language, he's always showing, So we need leaders on the pitch, and I mean Gabriel was basically leading the back 4. He was quite strong at the back, and apparently his English is getting much stronger. So that's something positive, because obviously communication is key. If you can't converse on the field, I mean, no one's going to know what you're saying. It reminded me of last season when the guys were just playing and Arteta was shouting and no one knew what the hell he was saying because they didn't know what instructions to follow. But I mean, like you say, Naseem, there's something was different in this last match. We're not going to jump the gun, but there is something different. So hopefully the players are adapting to his culture and what he wants to implement going forward. So look, like I say now, it's a North London derby up next. If the boys pull off a win there, I'm sure the spirits are going to be lifted and we'll have a different view going forward.
Yeah. Perfect. Let's have a look at the league table. I mean, we jumped up nicely from.
We now make it into the picture. We now make.
Yeah. I didn't have to cut the screen like last week. I had to cut the screen to get us in.
We in there, people. We in there.
We almost on that first page. I had to make the page a bit smaller to get us in, but we're almost on that first page. So it's looking good, and we obviously got Spurs up next, and I think Chelsea's got City, so that's a big game.
Just for the record, the team that beat us in that opening game is in the top half of the log. I just want to point that out. So even though they knew,
Brentford.
Yeah, but they play Liverpool next, eh?
Okay.
They've got a tough fixture, so we beat Spurs come Sunday, then we can go on top of Brentford, because I don't think they're going to beat Liverpool. I don't
Liverpool's
see that
firing quite at the moment. Yeah, Liverpool's playing quite well, but never know. Have to see this league.
And Villa's got Manchester United, so So
actually, want to throw there.
Wow.
shall we
jump
go
up nicely.
Shall we go into our
We got
our
our
quiz?
No, we're first doing
Okay.
our prediction ratings.
Our
so-
score ratings, yeah.
Oh, sorry, I haven't changed your names. Sorry. I
That's fine.
apologize.
Okay,
I'll be
I say
Bevan.
Dobby. Okay, yeah, Ashraf, you can Dobby, you can be Ashraf.
Okay.
Wait, sorry guys. I'm gonna fix it now. Just give me a
Lucky me,
second.
yeah.
Give me a second. I wanna fix it.
I want to ask you guys. Do you think that Arsenal fans have enough faith in the team to win games? I'm going to tell you why I asked this. I have now joined the fantasy league simply out of fun, and I have obviously, as people will know, I've decided I'm going to play 3 Arsenal players, the maximum amount of players you can have in each game. I will tell you what happened this weekend. Arsenal did well, and I had a lot of points by the end of Saturday. And then everybody else just flew past me on Sunday because that's when the big teams played. When Man United played, Spurs played, Chelsea played as well. So obviously a lot of Arsenal fans are betting on those teams rather than on Arsenal.
Not me.
Do you think there's enough confidence yet in the team?
Nah, not yet.
Nah.
Well, I can't speak for anybody else. Pepe is captain for the past 2 weeks, so
That speaks volumes.
Mm.
Okay, Mitchell says we
And-
must stop
and
drinking. He
Sapa.
doesn't believe there's a game plan. Okay. Mitchell says I'm high standard. Mitchell, it's weekend.
Come on, Billy. Come on, Billy.
Mitchell, it's weekend, and the what's it off sales on our open till Friday. So obviously there's still some booze left by game time.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Okay, so guys, we just want numbers. You don't have to talk about the numbers too much. Dobby, how many points out of 10? What would you rate the Ramsdale?
8.
Woo! We're starting with a house on fire. Brandon Ramsdale,
8.
my bliksem. Okay, so we can't
Saved
see
us. He
that
saved
on
us.
the-
He saved us. He saved us, Morgan.
He saved us. Okay. We're just gonna see. It's gonna come up now. We're just doing a
Just 1 second. Just
the
the update's not
graph-
gonna work.
people. The graphics team is just working on the graphic elements. We just have a few technical
Okay.
hiccups. Charles the Brave. Charles thinks that you guys are obviously being a little bit too modest about what Ramsdale did, and he's given him a 9. Mitchell says he's also going to speak to Ramaphosa about the drink thing. So
That's definitely Arsenal related.
we go back to ourselves open till Thursday.
Oh,
Okay, so those are 8. Dobby Tomoyasu. How many? What would you give him?
Yes, he gets a 7.
He gets a 7.
7.
Brandon, your thoughts?
No, it sounds like I'm copying Toby. Yeah, I'll give him a 7 as well.
Okay, 7 as well.
Yeah.
Maybe
Don't worry,
you
we-
must take
we'll
turns
continue.
so I
Oh,
can copy
we're
you.
having some technical issues here, guys. Sorry.
We'll go continue.
I'll update it
Dobby-
when we're done.
Dobby, White, what would you give White?
6.
Woo! You're going low now. How low can you
6.
go? Brandon, for White, what would you give him?
5.
Yes, like
Ouch.
what? Okay. Brandon, you go for Tierney first.
Yeah.
Tierney was alright. I'll give him a 6.
Give him a 6. Dobby, Tierney.
Tierney, yeah, 6.
Guys, in the chat, can you just put down the name next to the number that you give, because we're kind of flying here and we're not always sure what score you're giving for which player. Okay, with that steady, Dobby, Gabriel.
Must I type it?
No, don't worry. No, I'm talking about the guys in the
okay.
chats, in the chat rooms.
The guys in the chat.
Dobby,
Okay.
yeah.
Gabriel, 9.
Woo!
9 for
We
him.
go back again. Brandon, can you match that 9 for Gabriel?
Gabriel was solid. I'll give him a 9 as well.
Okay. Brandon, Party?
Partey was okay. I'll give him a 7.
Dobby? For Party?
Yeah, I'll give him an 8. I'll give him an 8.
Okay. Go. Okay, then Saka. Dobby? Saka?
Give him a 4.
Ooh. Brandon.
4.
Saka.
Definitely.
Okay.
He was
I just have to let you know that he's in. I have to change him because he was in my fantasy squad, and
Unfortunately.
I now have to drop him.
My
Ødegaard.
deepest sympathy.
He's in my team.
Ødegaard
He got an assist.
He threw the free kick, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But actually, the ref had assisted us.
Yeah.
Ødegaard, I'll give
Ødegaard.
Ødegaard 8.
Okay. Charles agrees with you. Dobby, what would you give Ødegaard?
Yeah, also 8.
Was that just to do with the goal, or did he use? I missed the first half, and I just need to know whether he touched the ball with his right foot at any stage in the first half.
I don't think so.
I love the boy, but damn,
Yeah.
I would love him. His right
Morgan,
foot
he turned the corner to the right. Yeah, he turned the corner.
You will not
Yeah.
turn. There is a fictional character who couldn't turn. I can't remember the character who can only turn one way. That is unfortunately plays for Arsenal now. Smith Rowe. Dobby Smith Rowe.
6.
Brandon Smith Rowe.
5.
5. Okay, Pepe. Brandon Pepe.
Pepe, I'll give a 6.
Dobby for Pepe.
5.
5. Bevan says I must go watch the highlights, all of it. I don't know if that's to do with Ødegaard and missing the right foot. Okay. Dobby Aubameyang.
Sure. Oh.
5.
5. Okay. Someone gave Pepe. Okay, this is gonna get interesting now. Brandon for Aubameyang.
He's dead in the middle. 5. Yeah, he basically did nothing. 5.
Okay. Brandon for Pepe. Oh, I missed Pepe.
No.
Oh, we did Pepe. We did Pepe.
Yeah, we did Pepe.
Maitland-Niles.
Yeah.
Maitland-Niles.
Ainsley Maitland-Niles. And again, be careful what you guys say.
No, give him a 7, Morgan. He was quite solid
Thank you.
when he came on. I was
Thank you.
impressed with him.
Thank you. Dobby?
Yep, agreed. 7.
Okay. Then we go to Tavares. Dobby, you can go. Dobby?
Okay, 6 for him. 6.
Was he on the field long enough to be scored?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was there a bit.
Yeah.
He was there a bit.
Yeah, he was here for a while. Yeah,
Oh, yes.
6. I think
Okay,
the 6
you
is decent score.
As I've said, the manager is now consistently doing his substitutions before the 80th minute. It's all very new to me. Lakonga, Brandon Lakonga.
The Congo was okay. I'll give him a 6 as well.
Okay. Dobby for
Yeah.
Lakonga.
Yep.
What would you
Standard
give the
6.
manager? Dobby, what would you give the manager?
8.
Ooh, tactically, okay, an 8. Brandon.
Yeah, I'll also give him a 8 there. I think his team selection and subs, like you pointed out, was actually okay.
Okay. I am, let me just say, Kensley says you guys are generous with the Arsenal players this is favoring.
Just because we want 2 in a row, Kensley.
It's just blown our minds. We've lost all sense of reality, you know. just the idea that we've won 2 games is just astounding.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mind-blowing.
so just to go back to the rating. So according to our panelists, Gabriel was the man of the match. But we all know that
With Ramsdale?
got man of the match award for the game.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was very close between the two of them. Both of them had excellent games. But
Oh,
yeah.
yes, yeah, you're quite right. The fans have given.
I think you know what, guys. What I'm gonna do for the guys in the comments. So next week or on our next show, I'm going to add another column here for the comments, and whoever gives the rating first will use that rating for that player. I think just to add more spice to it, so you guys can also join in the ratings.
I
Cool.
just want to. Yeah, I also just want to point out. Can you just click on some of the scores that the managers got, because that is also on the up. Charles has given him an 8. Alistair gave him a 6, and even Warren gave him a 6.
6. Yeah.
Mitchell again says he's going to give Arteta 1 for getting to the bus on time. Okay,
Yeah.
Naseem, what's
No.
next?
No,
Next is the quiz.
Oh, it's
Ah.
quiz time.
Oh, okay. So
lovely.
everybody in the comments, so just put Q1, A, B, or C to your answers. So there's only 3 choices. So Q1 for question 1, Q2 for question 2, and Q3 for question 3. Okay. So
We will
All yours,
find some
Morgan.
coffee. We will find some coffee vouchers again soon.
yeah.
For the quiz. Anyway, so here we go. So first question number 1, Dobby, this is for you with Brandon. So you get to answer first. And so yeah, Arsenal somehow and quite famously actually managed to beat Spurs 5-2 in both the second North London derby of the 2011-2012 season and the first North London derby of the 2012-2013 season. So consecutive 5-2 wins over the Spurs. But would you believe it? Only one player managed to score for Arsenal in both these games. Who was that player? And I just want to clarify something here. In that, okay, so here are the options. So which player scored for Arsenal in both of those games? There's only one player who managed to do that. Was it A, Lucas Podolski? Was it B, Robin van Persie? Or was it C, Theo Walcott? I just want to clarify something. Emmanuel Adebayor also scored in both of those games, but he was obviously by that time wearing Spurs colours.
their player.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
sure.
So just in case someone is questioning that thing. So, Dobby, I'm going to ask you to shout it. I forgot to ask you to get paper. Brandon, what was that? I didn't see that.
I saw B. B. Okay.
B.
B.
Brandon says Robin van Persie. Dobby, you are going for A, B, or C?
I'm going with C.
C.
He's
Theo.
going to go with Theo Walcott. Some of the questions, Warren
Okay.
says C. Mitchell
Okay, guys.
says
C. C. Okay.
We
10
have
more seconds for the guys in the comments. Then I'll reveal
Alistair
the
says
answer.
B. Charles says B. So we've got a couple of Robin van Persies and a couple of Theo Walcott. And the answers, of course, Theo Walcott.
Ah, well done.
Well done to you. Dobby, was that
Lucky
a
guess.
Oh, okay.
Was it a guess?
Nobody guessed Podolski, but okay. So I just wanted to make sure it was a guess.
Isn't it?
or Arsenal knowledge?
Wasn't one of those games? No, it wasn't one of those games where he did the 2-0 thing. That was an FA Cup game, eh? No.
Yeah, no.
maybe-
He scored.
That's when
He
he
scored
did
two.
his, that's when he did
That was
his
an FA Cup
ACL.
game. Yeah.
He scored
That
2
win
goals
is
in the
clear.
first 5-2 window. So second question number 2. With Arsenal's move to the Emirates Stadium in 2006, it meant that for the first time, more than 60,000 fans could watch the North London derby. Previously, the most fans could get into Highbury or into White Hart Lane was about 38,000 plus. But which Arsenal player scored in all 3 of the North London derbies at the Emirates? He scored in the 2006, 2007, 2008 games, as well as the first two White Hart Lane North London derbies in 2007. That was for the 2 seasons. So he scored in all first of the 5 North London derbies after Arsenal's move to the Emirates. Who was that player? Was it A, Emmanuel Adebayor? Was it B, Cesc Fabregas? Or was it C, Robin van Persie? So which players scored in all 5 of those first North London derbies after Arsenal's move to the Emirates? 3 of those games were at the Emirates and 2 at White Hart Lane. So you guys can ponder that while we go through. We're going to give you some clues. I'm not sure these are clues. Warren says A for Adebayor. Kensley says B. Says Fabregas. We haven't got any other guesses. The guys are quickly going to Wikipedia. Brandon.
Brandon, I can't see really. You can shout it out.
I got it. Hey.
Okay, you go A. Dobbie, who do you think it was? A, B, or C?
Well, I'm gonna go with B.
You're going to go with B. And the answer is, would you believe it, Emmanuel Adebayor? I wanna ask Warren, Craig, and Alistair if they actually knew that, or whether
Or
those
did
were
they
just
Google
lucky
it?
guesses. Yeah.
Google.
All just lucky guesses. Okay. Now we've got the real brain teaser for you. This is just to throw you a bit of a wobbly. Okay. Who scored a hat-trick for Arsenal when they beat Spurs 6-1 in the women's Super? Just so you can watch the games, because you can watch the game for free in the Women's Super League on 18 October 2020. And then in the next game, she scored 4 goals when they beat London City, which is not technically, I think, based in London. 2 weeks later in the FA Cup, Women's Super League Cup. So, who scored a hat-trick when they beat Spurs in the North London derby last year? Was it A, Beth Mead, B, Vivian Miedema, or C, Danielle van der Vonk? Van der Donk. Why do you want to say Van der Vonk? Danielle van der Donk. I'm hoping you all know those players. Brandon says B.
Quite
Dobbie?
a few B's, eh?
We have quite a few B's. I think it's because she's probably the better known goal scorer. Although
She's probably the only woman. She's probably the only female player everybody knows.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking it is. Although Beth Mead has had a stunning start to the season. So, Dobbie, who do you think it
I'll
is?
go with A. No, A.
Okay. Beth Mead and B, Vivian Miedema. The tall one. Beth Mead is the short one. Vivian Miedema is the tall one. and Kensley says she needs to be in the men's squad. Listening at the way, I wouldn't say no to that deal. Okay. And so who won that?
Brandon did, right? 2-1.
Yeah.
2-1.
Brandon, you've got the 2-1 win.
That's the score for Sunday, my prediction.
I'll take it.
Okay, guys, and I see this.
Dobie's wearing a white t-shirt for Spurs, and I've got on the Arsenal game. So yeah,
he's got
I'm saying
the
the color.
Brandon.
No, he's got the Arsenal badge.
But
I'm
one
saying
score,
the
one.
color.
Wearing the white. No, for sure.
Okay,
No,
Naseem,
I'll
are
be
we
the
going
whites.
into? Naseem, you're gonna talk about predictions now, aren't you?
Yes, I am. So,
Can you first show the table? We just need to show the table.
You want to see the
first.
table first? Okay.
I have a feeling I want to see the table.
Okay. So, the rankings for our predictor game. Let's go to the rankings first. And let me...
We need to zoom in a bit.
Zoom in there. There we go. Can you see that?
So as you can see there, the person in second place,
Morgan Morris.
Morgan. Well done, Morgan.
Just explain the rules again.
Okay,
So
so the rules did change a little bit, just a small little bit. The only thing that changed is if you get a prediction wrong, we're not going to minus any points. It's just going to be 0 points. But you get 7 points for the exact prediction. So, like Colin did 1-0, you get 7 points for that. She got 1-0 twice. So then you get.
Well done, Colin.
Then you get 4 points for the correct result. But with the same, but with the same goal difference. So if you said that Arsenal's going to win 2-1 this past weekend, you'd get 4 points for that because the goal difference is still the same, and you'll get 2 points for the correct prediction no matter what the goal difference is. So if you said Arsenal was going to win 10-0 but they only win 1-0, you'll get 2 points, and then for the total wrong prediction you get 0.
I thought we were doing negative marking here.
No, we're not. We took that away.
Come on, man.
We took that away. We took that away. So
just to answer Warren's question is how the hell is Morgan second? Because Morgan said Morgan gave 2 predictions of 2-1. So we got the victory right, the winner right, and the goal difference.
And the goal deficit.
Okay, so
where is Warren on that log? Warren wants to know.
Where is Warren? Warren. I don't even see you. Are they 56th?
Warren, we're clearly doing this thing in alphabetical order.
There you at Warren.
Warren, after me, we do it in alphabetical order.
I had to page 3 pages, 5 pages down for you, Warren.
Okay, so go back to the top. We need to find out about our star performer.
Yeah, Naseem. Colin. So before we I'm going to show you what else we can do here. So what I'm on is I'm going to tell you the reason also. So the admin for the predictor game, which became so popular on the show, was just getting crazy much to handle, and I didn't want to lose anybody's predictions and be unfair towards one person come the end of the season. And obviously we know there's money involved here, so people are going to be quite serious. So we created a little platform where you can actually go and put your predictions on the platform. You'll see on the banner below us here, you will be able to see the URL. If your name is here already, you obviously have an account set up. I set that account for you. Just try to reach out to me maybe on Facebook, and I'll give you your account details and how you log in. But what you can do on this is obviously do your score prediction on the predictions tab up here. And obviously enter whatever numbers you want to on all the Arsenal games. So the cup games won't be there yet, but as soon as we get the cup fixtures, I will add the cup fixtures. But all the Premier League fixtures are there. So if you're feeling lucky, you can already predict for all your future games. Just one thing, when you do a prediction, at the bottom there, let me just take this away. At the bottom here,
it's locked in though.
No, you can go back and change it.
No,
change yes, that. You can. No, wait. you have up it locks 15 minutes before kickoff. Okay.
Okay.
So it locks 15 minutes before kickoff, and don't forget to click save here at the bottom when you do your prediction. What you can also do is obviously go to the ranking page and see what the rankings are. What you can even go into a person's predictions. What you won't be able to see on a person's prediction is their prediction for the next game. So you can't steal. We all know Colin is on fire, so we can't steal Colin's score. So you won't be able to see your score for the next game, but you can see your scores for the previous games. You can also, which is also nice, you can also see what everybody else predicted for that past fixture and what they scored and what their points.
But if anybody has Colin's number, please pass it on to me.
Yeah, so reach out to me. I will give you login details. It's pretty simple. I don't take. You can add your email if you want to. Then we can just send you reminders to do your scores. But your email is not a requirement. And there is the rules page if you're not sure about the rules, but it's pretty simple. We obviously want to grow this space into more than just a prediction thing, basically a home for Arsenal Cape Town in the future. So yeah, from now on we're not going to take any predictions in the comments. It's just too much admin. Guys, go to the Arsenal Predictor website and put in your scores there for the Wimbledon game, which is on Wednesday.
Naseem, I'm gonna just ask you. I'm just gonna change, just tweak that ruling just for fun. It's not gonna count what they put in the chat, but just for fun, I would actually like to see what Gooner's thoughts are for tomorrow's game.
Oh yeah, sure. But it's not gonna add. Not gonna add.
It's not. Yeah.
They must do it themselves.
It's only the score that you put on the website, and remember, there is prize money to be won. And that guy does not play for Arsenal. The guy with the Arsenal in his hand. He doesn't play. So we're gonna ask Dobbie and Brandon for predictions for the next 2 games. Dobbie,
yeah,
you get the first one. Arsenal versus Wimbledon Arsenal versus Wimbledon in the Carabao. Is it called the Carabao Cup this season as well?
It's still called Carabao Cup.
Oh, okay.
Carabao.
Because the last time I checked, I think the sponsorship was just settled after that. So on Wednesday at the game, it's a home game. Dobbie, what's your prediction? Arsenal versus Wimbledon. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm presuming there's going to be quite a bit of rotation. So, not knowing what the team will be, I'll go for a 3-1 win to Arsenal. But then again, depends on what team we put out.
Okay.
Hopefully it's a strong one.
Dobbie, you have to guess. You have to just best guess. That's all we can do. So 3-1. Brandon, thoughts? You said 2-1. Was that for this? Was that for the Spurs game?
Yeah, that's for the Spurs game. Yeah. You can jot that down. That's a guarantee. In Arsenal's favor, obviously.
Okay.
Wimbledon game. Are we playing that game away?
No,
it's a home game.
The home game.
Yeah.
Okay, then I'll go for 3-0 Arsenal.
3-0 to the Arsenal. Dobbie, Sunday's game against Spurs. A tough one to call. But your prediction?
Well, I'll go for a 1-0 Arsenal win.
Okay, 1-0.
Colin, yeah. Colin.
No.
He's copying Colin, yeah.
That's where the money is.
I wonder if Colin is there, she must put in a prediction now so everybody can see. Yeah, so let us know your predictions in the comments as well, guys.
We've got one prediction there so long. We've got Arsenal 2-0 on Sunday.
What about Wednesday night? My thoughts. Carabao Cup 4-0, eh? 4-0. Yeah. I mean, even you think of our second string side, Martinelli might play, Lacazette might play, all the guys that's not playing, Lukonga might start, Tavares might get a start, Leno might start. So it's not a weak side that we can put out. Well, technically, but Maitland-Niles will get a run out. Yeah, so I'm expecting big things. I mean, what we did to West Brom in the last one, more or less of the same. And then for Sunday, I'm on the 2-1. That Harry Kane.
No, man, you buggers are all sticking my 2-1.
There's words I want to say about Harry Kane, but I can't. But yeah, that guy always. He's like Jamie Vardy, man. They just have to score against us. But I think we can win them. I think they wounded. And they even although they won their first 3 games, they didn't look convincing.
Okay.
So they lost against Palace. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
They lost against Palace, and they were
and they lost against Chelsea. So the North London, the London rivalry. Yeah, so it's up to us now to make it 3 in a row. Why not?
They were taking the part. Charles has now also jumped on the 2-1 bandwagon for Sunday. Warren says 6-0 on Wednesday. So I'm going to
Yep.
give my predictions because I have been watching. For some reason, I've been quite enjoying Theo Walcott's goals in the Reading game. There was some incredibly. No, was it Theo Walcott? No. I was just watching the Reading game where we were
At
down
6-4.
7-4.
7-7.
Wasn't it
7-5?
7-5?
7-5.
Was
7-5,
7-5?
yeah.
7-5, yeah. Mm.
So I'm gonna go for something like that. So I'm going, but instead of being 7-5, I'm gonna go
Yeah, it was
for
7-5, yeah.
I'm gonna go for 6-4, just for the hell of it.
Phew.
Jeez.
Yeah,
Jeez,
Hey.
high scoring game.
yeah. and then Billy says 3-0 to the Arsenal versus Wimbledon, and
Yo,
then ooh,
6-0.
Mitchell.
6-0.
No, he says 3-0 to
Billy.
Spurs versus Arsenal.
Mitchell,
Mitchell's
wasn't
Bal-
Mitchell the same guy that said that
Is-
we
is
don't
Billy
know?
the same?
Yeah, it's him.
Billy, you
And
can say. Nah, no, Billy. He's a good
Okay.
mate.
And eventually,
Come on, Billy.
eventually Arsenal's going to have to score more than one goal in a league game, and so I'm going to say give them a 3-2 win on Sunday,
Whoa.
just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
Just for the hell of
3-2.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to go now. I have to go big if I'm ever going to surpass Colin.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't mean that you choose high scores. It means you're gonna pass it. You need to get it right. You can choose 10-9 for all I can. You need to choose it right.
Yeah.
I have to choose the most unlikely scores that no one else will choose in the hope that it's an unlikely win.
Yeah. Please, if anybody out
Yes.
there knows Colleen, just tell her she needs to reach out to us so everybody can get scores from her.
Out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Mitchell says it's his vaccine. He's obviously at his second dose. And Bill Gates is making him say things. Guys, I just want to... that is a joke. I am not an anti-vaxxer. I do not believe Bill Gates is bugging us. So just for the record. Okay. Okay,
Guys?
so that's it for... Ooh, we've gone over time.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so
And
again...
that-
yeah, you can...
Go for it.
Naseem, you can do the farewells tonight. I'm
I
going
can
to
do
keep
the
quiet
farewell.
now.
So
Yeah.
I just want to thank Dobbie, Brandon. Thanks for joining us. It was great having you guys. It was a great show.
Pleasure, guys. Thanks for having us.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
It's-
for having us.
It's been awesome, guys. In the comments, as always, you always make me laugh, and it's so much fun. And thanks again, and join us next time. And
Are we doing a post Wimbledon show? Or a post Wimbledon pre-Spurs show?
well, let's leave it up to everybody else. If they want us to do a post Wimbledon show, maybe quick one on Thursday, or maybe do a post pre NLD on Friday night. Yeah, then we will do it. If you want us to be here on Friday night and keep you company and gear us up for the game on Sunday. Yep. Warren says he wants a pre-Spurs show. Will be awesome. Okay, then.
Yeah.
I think Warren's phone has been taken over by one of his girls. Warren does not know the word lit. I am that lit.
I gave it away.
Yeah. Thanks for joining us, Dobbie, Brandon, everybody in the chat, Morgan.
Thanks,
for
everybody.
being an awesome host. See you guys on Friday.
Have a good evening, guys.
Fun,
Cheers.
guys.
Cheers.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Bye. Hello.